This podcast is part of the Zeo to Hero podcast network. Yeah, so I actually had another guy that I did a convention with last year that kind of reached out to me, and he said that exact same thing, is that 2026 he is going to be the year, and like he's like, man, I can see it happening for you. And so I believe that even with you, because you've got some really cool stuff going on. So I'm
Ooh.
excited to see what's going to happen in this next year. And hi, everybody. This is my first episode back, on the show. I took a little bit of a hiatus, and so we're back at this, and I am very excited. I have a returning guest with me. If you haven't seen his face yet, then I'll just go ahead and introduce him. He is an actor, a writer, and producer. He's known for Power Rangers Shattered Past as Sam O'Neill, the Omega Ranger. He is the Vihan from Dragon Ball Son of Trunks. He was part of Reverse Flash and the new Resident Evil Code Wesker. And I am talking about probably one of the hardest working guys that I know because he's always busy every time I talk to him. And I'm talking about my friend Colin Bass. Man, how are you doing tonight?
Good, good. Thank you for having me back. Thank you for the dope intro. Good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we've been talking about doing this for a minute, and like I said, you are a busy guy. It's hard to nail you down sometimes, so I'm excited that we're able to get on here and talk about some of these things that you have going on.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
So we'll kind of just start off with this. We are about a month out from the very first time you were on the show.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, because it was
So great.
February
Cheers.
whenever you came on the show for the first time. And that one went over really well. You've got a really cool fan base that you have, and they're really good about following what's going on and everything. And I've actually gotten quite a few of them that have started following what I'm doing here and everything because of that. So yeah, you've got some really cool people that follow what you do, and this last year has been insane. A lot has happened, but I think it's all for the good. And, seeing where we're going and what we got going on is amazing.
Absolutely. And I think maybe my fan base sees how awesome you are, and we're just all good vibes and good people. So I'm glad to hear it.
For sure. For sure. So I want to talk about one thing in particular first, and that is Son of Trunks, because that actually just wrapped up.
Yeah.
Was it last month when the new episode came out?
We premiered it at Anime Pasadena, which was November. So yeah.
Okay. Man, that I love that ending. I love the way the whole thing went. You could see the story progressing. You could see, it was just amazing the effects that you had going on in it, the story writing that you had. Because it was you could tell it was a passion that you had whenever you wrote that.
Yeah, yeah. Things never go according to plan. I really did try to write what I thought was best for the story. I think we joked about this the last time I talked to you, where I was like, man, I want to do a bunch of scenes with Jason Faunt, but it just didn't really make. So I just that one scene where he doesn't come and save my ass. He like really inspires me to be
Right.
my own person,
Yeah.
and that whole sequence was just one of my favorite things I've ever filmed in my 10 plus years of filming.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because I got to watch it with him at on the big screen at Anime Pasadena,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
we just kind of like got to talk about that moment we had together, and how special it was. And I got a little choked up because I was moderating, and I was like, it was just so cool. But it was, yeah, and I'm really proud of that episode too. It just it's not. I had to write around so many limitations and scheduling and all this stuff, but
Right.
I really think Vihan became his own person, which was always kind of the message of the show: is you're not who your parents are. You can be your own person. You can learn from them. And it was so cool just having everyone together, everyone stoked on the episode, and it doing so well for an episode 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, man. I that was Son of Trunks is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my career. And like fun fact, but kind of not fun fact, it's the only series I've ever finished. Usually I go
Yeah.
too long, and I lose steam. I'm like, whatever, the fans don't even care. I'm over. But I was like, I'm finishing this thing, and
Yeah,
it was so rewarding that it motivated me to get back to Shattered Past.
that's good. That's good. So there's a couple things there that I wanted to bring up, and one is um, the growth for Vihan. Because, dude, in that last episode, he's just taking them out left and right, the androids. And it
Glad you
was,
noticed. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you could see he got stronger as he went, because during that first episode, he would have a long fight. And then they were keeping count by the end, well, I got this many, So that was really cool to see
Yeah.
that power growth there.
Yeah, I figured since it was the finale and Ep 1 he's struggling against one android,
Right.
and then 2 he's kind of more on the run and like could kind of hold his own, but it
Hmm.
was always like, kind of like a little worrisome. And then 3, I was like, I gotta show this guy's ready for the final fight, Then so uh shout out to John Tiang, he like assembled that group of people to be the androids, and I was like, dude, I just want to mow through them and like take them out like 1 or 2 hits. And he was like, say less, you got it. And then for the fight with Nico, I really wanted it to be, you don't really know who's winning. Lots
Right.
of exchanges
Yeah.
of punches or beams, but man, what a different world it is from episode 1, where I give my biggest sword slash and he's like brushes it off. Now it's like, whoa, these guys are going toe to toe. And then part of me wanted to do this big Super Saiyan battle, but the other part of me was like, no, he's an android and he sucks energy, so he kind of kept it even. And then the Celestial Saiyan was that moment where he was just so far ascended past Super 17. It was just everything that we've been working towards. So
Right.
another thing, yeah, I really wanted to elevate Vihan the same way in Dragon Ball. You can't even compare Buu Saga Goku to Saiyan Saga Goku. It's always
Right.
evolving and getting stronger and stronger.
Right. Well, and that was one thing. His Vihan's grandpa. We'll go there. With Vegeta. Whenever they faced the androids, they didn't expect him to be as strong as he was by the time that they got to him. He was able to rip the guy's arms off that was supposed to be sucking the power out of him. So
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
had that attitude. Just like his grandpa would. So that I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think he also felt more secure because he was building a team. And I wish I could have done more with having us all together, but it was just impossible to schedule everyone. And I was like, what do people care more about, seeing us all together or getting the story out, building everyone's relationship?
Yeah.
So I think Vihan got more confident because he wasn't so alone like he was in Ep 1 and 2. And
Right.
like end there, that's why Piccolo, shout out DJ Rivers, goes up and is like, good, Oob, your team needs you. And the team is like formed, we're just all spread out. And
Right.
so my head canon, after the fact that like Vihan, made those 3 mysterious wishes and fixed everything,
Yeah.
that stuck together and defended the universe. That's how I see it.
Okay. All right. All right. And you got to have your wish throughout the entire thing there as DJ being Piccolo for you.
I
Your
got
birthday wish.
D'Angelo, I got Brennan Mejia as Oob, I got
Yeah.
Jason Faunt as my dad. I'm a lucky guy.
I remember when you actually told us, me and DJ, that you're like, I might, be getting somebody cool for this, just gotta wait. And how did that come about? Like getting Jason Faunt for the show?
So I know Jason not only through Power Rangers, but he was a guest at our range. For those of you who don't know, you know, love to act, write, create,
Yeah.
but my main job that's all connected to it is running conventions.
Hmm.
So I stay in like booking talent and everything like that. And Jason was a guest at one of our Ranger Legacy conventions at Anime Riverside, and I guess I was kind of like his point of contact, and
Okay.
we got along really well. And whenever we post like Sam O'Neill stuff or even Jackson Brooks stuff, they'd be like, "Is that Jason Faunt?" Because of certain angles, I look like him, and
Yeah.
kind of kept in touch. And I've he was my dream choice, I think, from the beginning.
Yeah.
And talking to him about being at a convention or something. I don't remember how it came up. I think we were talking about doing Ranger Legacy again, and then I was on the phone with him, and I was like, "Hey, can I pitch something?" It's kind of the exact same way I managed to get Brennan involved, but it was all kind of talking about the con. And so I kind of gave him like an elevator pitch, and he was like, "Well, send me the script, let me know." And a shout out to Jason, who was just so like open, but also clueless about Dragon Ball in general. But I
Okay.
that I promise you, we'll do right by his character, and I think that you and I would do really well, and well, tell me what it would take to make this happen.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, he said yes. Eventually, I sent him a bunch of like Trunk's pictures and clips. And I'm like, you're the older version of this. I did a brief explanation, and
Hmm.
then he had a lot of questions about like our relationship, and he had a lot of scenes with younger me, and he was very, very like dad mode with that one. But then
Yeah.
like he and I talked on the side. He's like, "Well, how do you feel about me?" And I was like, "I love you. I miss you. I haven't seen you in like 20 years." And so
Right.
we had a moment, and so it was all kind of like just on the phone. But funny story, when he was like thinking about it, he
Yeah.
called, or he sends me a voice message or something the next day. Then he was like, you know what? I like the script. I've watched your stuff. I've wanted to work with you for a while, but most importantly, I'm proud of you for going after what you want, and what you want is me. That was so cool. And on set, we just had a blast together. He had just had a baby, so he was really tired, but we were joking around, having a great time. And after we wrapped, I was like, this dream come true, right? And then we
Yeah.
did the back poster, and I have it like giant blown up in my room. I'm so happy about it.
Well, I mean, you could tell. I knew you were excited about it, and then seeing it come to life, I was like, okay, I can see this. And then actually seeing it happen, I was like, dude, this was wonderful. The way that it was played out, and you could tell that I didn't know that he didn't know anything about Dragon Ball. From the way that he played the character, he did an amazing job with it. And so kudos to him for being able to pull that character like that.
Yeah, I think that he just wanted to know, and also it wasn't about like the lore is more about the character and who he was in our show, which was really cool. And then for that secret project I told you about,
Yeah.
I've been talking to him about that one too. So
Okay.
you might see him back in one of our projects very, very soon.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm definitely excited about that. And you've got a lot of different projects that have happened this year.
This year,
You've been a part of Resident Evil, the Resident Evil series. You have started doing more shots for Shattered Past to get that up and going, and I think the first time that you were on, we talked about that because, yeah, because that's the video clip that I was able to put up on Instagram and stuff. I was of you and the Thunder Rangers and stuff,
right?
and that was just coming through. You had just got that scene finished editing and the VFX and all that. So you've had a ton of other stuff. You're going to be playing Silver in Sonic. That is so cool. By the way, oh
Oh, thank you, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm very excited. And that one's kind of me stepping out of my comfort zone, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, that's bucket list for me, like to be anything a part of Sonic.
yeah.
Originally, out to Eddie, he and I worked on a Spider-Man project like 5 years ago or something, and
Okay,
we always kept in touch and like kind of rooted each other on with our filmmaking.
yeah.
Uh, he he like I forgot even how I saw it, but I said I bet I was like, please, I'll send in voiceovers, auditions. I don't care if I'm civilian number 17. Please let me be. And
Yeah.
then like, okay, yeah, I have some gun agents, and I was like, cool, I'm in. And then I started like asking him who he had, and like getting more like behind the scenes stuff.
Hmm.
Saw that Silver wasn't taken, and I was like, Eddie, this would be like a dream come true for me, but it's also a marketing genius move because
Yeah.
I've been the Omega Ranger, I've been Reverse Flash, I've been Batman, I've been all these time travelers.
Yep.
Add Silver to the mix, people are gonna comment, they're gonna like this, they're gonna like that. And then so like he kept it really secret, and then he announces me, but it's like a really obvious silhouette of Silver, and I'm like, why
Yep.
not? Why not just tell people? I'm so excited, and
Yeah.
it's all really cool too because it's for a charity, and
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I've kind of neglected in my career where I should be, because it's mostly fan films, right? Like I'm not making money off it. It'd be really great
Right.
if like all these views and all this attention could be used towards something good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Eddie told me that, I was even more stoked, and I'm very, very excited to help with that. And also Eddie is saying like for these other projects, he's like, there's nothing stopping you from putting a donation link in your projects to help because you get the views. Why not
Right.
help people that need the help? And I'm
Right.
like, oh right. And so just a quick update. I've not been officially announced as silver, but
Oh,
that's yes. And two, I did do all my lines already for my scenes. And three, I've seen the storyboards and the animations already.
yeah.
And four, we already have like two conventions booked for screenings next year. So
Oh,
it's gonna
wow.
and yeah, I'm super excited on that. It's also I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything. It's also really nice not leading the charge on it all because it Son of Trunks took everything out of me and like we talked about before we started filming, you
Yeah.
really got the people that aren't in your realm of the entertainment industry.
Right.
And so I need me not leading and me just like, hey Eddie, I have this idea for marketing or for silver or this, and it's just kind of me as more of a supporting character. It
Hmm.
was kind of exactly what I needed. So I'm really excited for that one. I can't wait to see what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it looks very well done. I was very impressed with the trailers and stuff that I've seen for what's going to be happening, and I'm very excited to see that. But I understand what you're saying, because it takes a lot out of you when you are, you know, headlining a project and when it's you that is in charge of it. I understand that, from this is a one man show over here, and so I get that. And being able to step back and just have fun with it, it
Yeah,
brings that back to you. It makes it fun again.
yeah, and it also kind of gave me perspective on what I completed through Son of Trunks, and I
Hmm.
kind of talked with my girlfriend about it, where I'm like, I don't think I want to do things like that anymore because that like took over my life for like 2 years, down to me having the same haircut. I don't know. My hair finally gone. Like all these different things, and I'm like, okay, I need to do things a different way where it doesn't totally absorb my life, but I can still do what I love, which is create. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and also like it's so funny. I play these superheroes for like 10 years, and the charity aspect of it never even like crossed my mind. So I'm really excited to kind of have this new perspective, and it's because of this project. So I think that's like the interesting thing about kind of going out of your comfort zone is you see things in a different way, and this
Right.
way, like you know, obviously I just love to create, and I would love to like help more people through my creating.
Right.
As I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of blabbing.
It does. It makes sense. I understand what you're saying. You get to use your talents to help someone,
I
and
would like to, yes, for sure.
yeah, yeah, that's really cool. And being able to do that, it feels good,
As
because it not only are you helping somebody, but it kind of nourishes your soul, I guess you could say.
and I didn't even know it either. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's help out some kids in the hospital. But
Yeah,
we did a little sneak preview before our Son of Trunks panel at Anime Pasadena,
yeah.
and we played like the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog Metal Mania, and we like plugged the charity, and then like we played the trailer, and at the I'm not even in it, right? The
Yeah.
animation I'm done, but then at the very end it just had like my name on there, and I was like, hell yeah! So it made me feel good in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking a lot about all of these different conventions and stuff, and I know that you've got a lot of them on your plate. How many different ones are there now with because you got Anime Pasadena, you got Anime Las Vegas, you got Anime Riverside, and I know you've got a few more that are in the works or
Yeah,
have already been announced and things like that as well.
yeah. So when I first started, it was one. It was Anime Pasadena.
Yeah,
Then we got Riverside and Vegas. And we were like kind of juggling all those three and really getting the hang of it. And I'm the first one to admit I wasn't very good at my job for like the first 2 years, but thank God my boss stuck with me. And then now I'm getting pretty good. And then next thing I know, we have three more conventions next year. I'm already like, man, this is crazy doing three conventions a year
yeah,
and feeling and like having a life.
yeah.
And now this year, 2026, we're gonna have six conventions.
Oh my gosh.
We're adding two Arizona ones and San Diego, but San Diego's very, very cool because it's a big full circle moment because I'm from San Diego
Yeah, yeah.
and no one down there really understood me or what I do or anything. And I used to keep going to San Diego Comic Con secret because I was so embarrassed of being so nerdy. Whereas 2007, I came home from my first Comic Con, and my mom's like, "How was it?" And I was like, "I've never experienced anything like that. That might be my favorite thing ever." And I'm like freaking out, freaking out. She
Yeah.
goes, "Well, maybe you should consider a job in conventions. You'd be around the things that you like, and you love it there. Like maybe that." And I'm like, there's no job security in conventions. What are you talking about, mom? And then years later, now it's literally my full time job with me being allowed to film. So
Yeah.
it's funny. And I'm back, literally back at the convention center where my mom like told me to even consider it.
Yeah.
So I'll always thank her for saying that. The fact that it sticks in my mind almost 20 years later must have
Right.
meant. So yeah, so we're doubling our cons, and it's gonna be crazy, dude. But I feel ready, and I feel like, as like cheesy as it sounds, I feel like I'm getting tougher every year for how crazy these are.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so we're going from 3 to 6, and then in 2027 we're launching our first ever horror convention called
Heck
Haunted.
yeah. Okay.
So then I'll be at 7 conventions. So
I did my first horror convention this year. That
how'd
was
it go?
fun. It was fun. It was a great time. I actually I got some cool people for the show because most of the time when I go, I try to get the guests there to maybe come talk to me. I got to do my first live podcast.
Cool.
We actually did it through TikTok and then I redid it and put it out on my YouTube channel. But that was really cool. One of my friends that has his own podcast called Technical Difficulties. He's part of that same group as where you've got Billy and Jim from Zero to Hero, and you've got Ty from the Tiger Nexus podcast and all of that.
Cool.
And yeah, he's another guy, and it's funny. We actually live in the same area, but the podcast network that we're part of is out of Texas.
Okay.
Me and him we're like 40 minutes from each other's house.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we got to do that. I got to meet some really cool people and hook up with some people who run conventions and stuff like that. And man, there's so much fun. It's a great time. So I'm excited to see how that one is for you.
Yeah, it's also been a lot more fun because I have way more say in like who to book and what
Yeah.
panel to do, and even the like free games we have at our booth and stuff within the
hmm
con.
hmm
Like, have you ever been to Disneyland?
I have not. No.
Okay, someday you got to go. But basically, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. Where like you go on a ride, right, and then
hmm
like Star Lord pops up. And he's like, or Rocket Raccoon, hey, we need to break out these guys, and it feels like a fully immersive. You're in the universe kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're starting to do stuff like that, and I get to kind of write little mini fan film things to become like a game at these conventions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot more work, but it's not. I'm not there. I'm not there doing things that I don't love. So
Right.
it's been really fun getting one more trust from my boss, but two, just being like, hey, what if we did this? Okay, do it. And the next thing I know, I do you like Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I pitched and everyone thought it was crazy. Everyone thought it was crazy. Early last year, we were talking about Vegas. And I was like, let's do a giant Kingdom Hearts 2 reunion. It's the 20th year. And they're like, huh? What? And I was like, trust me. And now it's become like the leading charge on Anime Las Vegas. And
That's
that's kind
cool.
of a little like pat on the head to my younger self, like, hey, he loved Kingdom Hearts and now reunion and hopefully making a lot of people happy. Because
Yeah.
anyway, so then we're doing like a Kingdom Hearts kind of activation at Anime Las Vegas, where not only do we have all these voice actors and panels and whatever, but we're gonna do like this thing where you like complete a quest and come back and get your Keyblade, but the Keyblade is like a keychain of a Keyblade.
That's cool. That's
It's
really cool.
cool. I love the fact that like the things that I'm doing for work are kind of my knowledge from 20 years ago.
All of that nerdiness from a kid that you were trying to hide is now going to help you along, man.
You get it. You get
Yep,
it.
that's right. I do get it, man. I was the same way. And yeah, you try to hide it then, but it helps me now. All that knowledge, I knew there was a reason why I was in there.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a certain reason why like people like us kind of cling to that thing, and if we're lucky enough for it to become a part of our adult lives, like
Yeah,
that's a big win for us, for
yeah,
child us and adult us.
yeah. Do you ever like I know I do this sometimes. Do you ever just like sit back and just like think, if I could talk to my younger self and tell them what I'm doing now?
I literally have to force myself to do that because I deal with imposter syndrome super bad.
Yep.
But there's like times where I'm like, maybe a little alcohol's involved, where I'm just like, this is so effing cool. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
allowed to on here. I
You say
forgot.
whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm looking at so I'm in I think I thought I like my garage. I turned into like a bass cave, like my man cave. And I'm looking around, and my wall literally has like all the things I love. Where it's like I have like a vinyl collection here. I have like
Yeah,
all my favorite anime character stickers on my fridge. Like, and I
that's
kind of
cool.
it, and I'm just like, wow, one, it's cool that these things even exist because, as you know, they didn't exist back when we loved it that much. It was impossible.
No, yeah,
And then two, that it's like become like such an integral part of my life. And three, it's like, it pays the bills. So
yeah,
I have to really like be like, wow, look at what you've done. And then I want to like tell younger me, imagine well you gonna be like I have this vision of like what if I sent younger me my Power Ranger morph, my Omega Ranger morph.
yes,
Would freak out, right?
yeah,
So as
yeah,
much as I doubt myself and I'm like worried about my next release or like, oh, it's not good enough, or man, I don't look good here. Like if he saw it, he'd probably be like, you did it, man. We're
yeah.
retire.
Yeah, it's I have that problem and I have to do that because it's like, nah, this isn't much, what I'm doing now. But I no, I get that. You got to take that moment and realize, that way you can appreciate, all the cool stuff that
And
you've got to do.
shout out to you. You're doing all the cool stuff with a full-time job and a family. Like I respect the hell out of that. I barely can like be a good boyfriend and good dog dad to like what I do now, and I'm
Yeah.
trying hardest, right? But
Yeah.
you're doing everything, and you have a whole wife and kids, and like that's major props to you, man. So if you're not giving yourself enough props, I will give you props. You're killing it, dude. I'm proud of you,
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
and Lily you is proud of you too.
Well, man, I'm proud of you, and that's the cool thing, because me and you and DJ, we have our little chat that we
Yeah,
have, and it's always hype there. I know I can go in there and be like, look at this cool thing that I did, and it's just gonna be nothing but love in there, and it's cool to have people in your corner,
yeah,
that will tell you, hey, I'm proud of you for what you're doing.
yeah. And I think we get a little lost in the sauce out here, at least in LA,
Yeah,
where I'm so excited about something, but I feel like I can't be excited about something,
yeah, yeah,
like it's not cool to be excited about something. But like that secret project, I had been no joke losing sleep over it because I was missing this like final hook, and I'm really proud of my cliffhangers, my connections that I do in my shows that I write.
yeah.
Missing it, and I could not sleep last night. And then I thought about it. Do, without saying anything, do you know about that franchise? Do you like it?
I do. Yes,
Okay. So I would love to
yes.
talk to you off the air about it.
Okay, okay.
Figured it out, and something clicked in my brain, and I was so excited. And then the actor that we locked in for that main role
Yeah.
studied the script and started. Dude, today we started buying wardrobe and costume stuff. Like it's
Oh,
happening.
wow. Okay.
So I got like so hyped, but I felt like I couldn't celebrate it with everyone. And
Right.
that's no way to live, right? Like
No, no.
everyone should celebrate their wins and their successes. So I
Exactly.
maybe that's a little lesson we should take right now. We should all celebrate our successes and
For
wins.
sure. For
Maybe
sure.
not with certain people, but like to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talking about writing and stuff, and I know we've touched on this before, but I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit because I always find this interesting. What does your process look like whenever you're trying to write?
It's so stupid. My boss makes fun of me because he was like, "Hey, where's the script?" And I was like, "Give me the day off. Give me the day off." Right? My, I'm like, I'm not. I love writing. I love it all, but that's kind of like my gamble. Like if you want me to turn in a script, give me the day off, and I will have it for you, right? And so it's really, really dumb, but hear me out. So in my room, I have my TV, and I have this desk where I do like my writing or even just like eating.
Hmm.
And so I basically give me any franchise ever that I'm about to write a short for.
Yeah.
You
Oh, you
do.
want me to
Yeah,
me?
give me anything.
Let's go. Let's go with we'll go with Power Rangers because that's the one that you're doing right now.
Okay,
Or
Power Rangers is a little different because I've been doing it for like 5 years. Give me a new one. Give me a new
okay,
one.
Resident Evil.
Okay, Resident Evil. I'll give you the exact process I did. So
All
I
right.
knew Resident Evil 5 and 6 really well and like kind of the basics.
Yeah.
But I basically go to YouTube and I put on the longest lore timeline thing that possibly exists with the
Yeah.
most use.
Yeah.
Then I get a 12 pack of White Claw,
All right.
and I have my laptop, and I start watching the lore, and I start writing, and I start taking notes about things that I want to happen in the short,
Yeah.
and things that we can do. And then I keep watching the lore, and then let's say there's a character I don't know about, I'll pause that. I'll go and watch a lore thing on them, and I go best moments so
Yeah.
that I reference those best moments, and then I
Okay.
come back, and then so it's always like there's a master like lore thing that I watch for way too long, and I'm drinking because it kind of releases and loosens me up in my mind where I'm not like I can't do that. We can never pull that off. No, but like, so I'm kind of relaxed. I'm like, well, I think we could. It basically like settles me down so that I can kind of just loosely create. And
Okay.
then I basically hop from a giant lore recap thing to individual character stories, and I
Yeah.
come back and then I finish what I know we can do,
Yeah.
and then I put it away and I like go eat or something or go take a break, and then I come back and I go through it over and over again from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, trying to fine tune it and make it make sense. And I love foreshadowing, I love connections, and I love untold stories. So I'm always going through over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then that's usually like a day or a weekend. I send it to my boss and then like who's directing it and then get like their quote unquote approval.
Yeah.
Then I go back again and fine tune things and do like play on words or like kind of references from this, references from that. But it's a lot of like absorbing the content while I'm creating. And I don't
Okay.
ever want to do like a shot for shot or copy of anything. I think the beauty of fan films is untold stories or things that they never did or
Yeah.
could or thought of.
Right.
So connections that, maybe the fans never even thought they wanted to see or connections that I wanted to see. But I always say this, I write or create what I want to see as a fan. So yeah, it's basically a lot of like recap videos, character
Okay.
cores, wikis, and white claws. Ooh, my my new podcast, wikis and white claws.
I love it. I love it. Let's get it started. Let's do it. Yeah. So were you a big Resident Evil guy when you were a
So
teenager?
I was huge into five because I
Five.
back there weren't many like couch co-op games. Everything was getting
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
And then five, obviously, Chris Redfield was just so badass. And so I've always loved Chris Redfield. I never thought I'd play Chris Redfield because I'm not a big like horror guy, but
Yeah.
I knew the basics of Resident Evil. It was always a little too scary for me. I watched the Jovovich. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. Marla,
You're good.
stop, stop. She's like, Dad, let's play. Uh, I know the basics, and Chris was always my favorite. And shout out to man, a very funny moment where they had the guy from Prison Break playing Chris Redfield, and he had to break out of a prison. Do you remember
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Was that what's his name? Uh,
Wentworth?
Wentworth. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love where I'm like, oh, cool. It's Michael Schofield from Prison Break. You have to break out of a prison. Like, anyway, so I was super super obsessed with five. Played a lot of six actually, but
Yeah.
then I just was always a casual fan. I check in or try the games. But
Right.
it was always something that I just loved in the back of my head.
Yeah.
And then my boss started Haunted Signal, and he was like, "Do something horror," and I was like, "I don't like horror. I don't want to." You must like He's like, "You must like something," and I was like, "I like Dexter. I like Dexter a lot, and I
Dexter's great.
Resident Evil." And he's like, "Do that," and I was like, "Oh, dude, I would love to be Chris Redfield." And then that basically started it. And I've always loved Wesker because he has super speed, and super speed's my favorite power ever.
Yeah.
So it all kind of like played into like the things that I loved about Resident Evil, I could kind of capitalize on. And then if you're a big Resident Evil head, this story takes place in between five and six, which has
Yeah.
also really been explained.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of nitpicking what to choose from this. Like Chris and Sheva just left Africa, but it's before this. Like it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Sorry, that was a long answer, but I've not been a big Resident Evil guy, but I think I've beat five.
Okay.
I was not a fan favorite, but I just love co-op. I
Yeah.
think I five three different times.
Okay. So I actually have a funny story about six.
Tell me.
Uh, my daughter wanted to play it. She was like, "Oh, please, please, I want to play this and everything." About maybe 10 minutes into it, I end up being the one playing it because she got scared. And
Yeah.
so she's just sitting there like watching me and like hiding when stuff is happening and everything. And that's how I ended up beating six, was
Oh,
because I was playing it for her.
good
Yeah.
dad. Good dad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
fun connection to our previous conversation is Jason Faunt did the mocap for Leon Kennedy in that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't
But
know that.
I was on set with him, and he was like, "So what else you got going on?" I was telling him about that, and he was like, "Oh, Resident Evil, they have some diehard fans. Like, he like he obviously does most of his signatures for Time Force Red, and
Yeah.
then can be Batman and Bat in the Sun's project. But he was like, no, the Resident Evil fans really show up, and I
That's
was
cool.
like, okay, awesome. I was kind of doing it just one because I love Resident Evil, and two like bucket list character. I'd love to be Chris Redfield, and I
Yeah.
had so much fun like just capping zombies.
The one you got on the ground. Pow pow. Yeah.
Yes, that is my best friend Hooper, and he's never acted before ever, and he
Yeah.
just like yeah I'll try it, and I in the script I kill him twice because I like disguise him as a different zombie. And he's like, oh, why are you killing me twice? And I was like, I just want to hang out with you longer, dude.
That's cool. That's cool. And he's like, he just keeps trying to kill me. What's he trying to tell me here?
He got so confident and so like just he was good. He went crazy, grabbed my knee, and I was like,
That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah,
And getting to bring your friends in is always fun. Bringing them into your world, that's
yeah,
that's always cool.
yeah. And it's also great watching watching that with him and one of his friends or like one of our mutuals that
Yeah.
probably don't watch what I do, right? But
Yeah.
because he's in it, they'll like watch it. And,
Okay.
and they're like, all right, there he is. And he runs up, gets shot. And they go, that's it? I'm like, no, 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 wait. He comes back.
So, you've been doing, all of this different stuff. Is there anything else that's coming up that maybe you want to talk about? Because I know you have a ton going on, and I know there's stuff you can't talk about.
I
So,
was just about to say, there's stuff I want to talk about, Jared.
yeah, for sure.
uh, okay, let's see. So on my plate right now. One thing that I'm not in, but I produced and shout out that it's doing great. People really seem to enjoy it. Is a Phasmophobia First Haunt, and I
Yes.
produced one. But man, that team did great, and I was pretty hands off on it to be honest. I was just kind of making sure everything happened and was ordered or scheduled or whatever. And then marketing side, I'm pretty hands on.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ivan and his team for that. But yeah, I've got a lot coming up. So, like I said, I already did my voice for Sonic the Hedgehog Metal Mania, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of like connections to that with different like in person stuff and screenings, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
And then the Secret Project, which is already officially in pre-production as of like today. That was my main priority and kind of took up all of my brain space. So
Right.
now that's done and approved, we're gonna probably hit the gas on that real quick because I think my costume comes in just a few days, and then we're already casting, and so that's that. Next on my plate is Power Rangers Shattered Past finale. And,
Yes.
I'm teaming up with Shelton, who he and I did Son of Trunks together. So I feel very confident in that because he and I are a great team. And I'm gonna kind of scrap. Ooh, this is kind of an exclusive. Everything we filmed, I'm gonna kind
Hmm.
of scrap and make a big time jump because it's all been so long. We're
Oh,
all look really different. So I'm basically gonna use some time travel stuff to explain why everything's so different.
okay.
And then
Okay.
Resident Evil, I'm definitely still doing that. And then we have some original IP stuff coming up too. It's kind of more in the supernatural area like literally like monsters and hunters and lore
Okay.
that
Yeah.
that we can do like original content. It won't be fan films.
Right.
And I'm not exactly directly involved, but I am very supportive of it. Is we have the Four Empires, which is one of our IPs. They just launched like a trading card game. They have a TTRPG. They do shorts.
Yeah.
I'm very much there to help with marketing and just kind of have their backs.
Well,
Or
you've done some videos with them too, haven't you?
I haven't really been involved in that. I did help create Four Empires years ago, but then it kind of was put onto these two very talented dudes, Michael McRae and Joseph Ryan Hansen. They really took over, but I'm more of there as like a supporting role. However, I can help
Yeah.
with that or whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud. They really turned something they really turned nothing into something really special. So
Right.
they're more of that, and I do my best to support them, but I'm not really as involved as the other things that I've said.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but it's more along the lines of like what's going to happen for the screening at this next con. That is like a big driving force.
Right.
I think that's it. That's already a pretty long list, but that's that's
For
what I'm
sure.
doing. And but the priority is this secret project. I'm actually picking and choosing people from those different teams that I
Yeah.
just to give like the best A team for this project because I think it's going to be really big.
There you go. Well, it's the Sandler thing, man. You pick those that do the best with you and you work with them, you know? So, yeah. So when it comes, you said that you've already got your like your costume coming in and stuff. Do you have
Yeah,
like a special company that you use and you're like, this is what I want, or is it like a cosplay group, or how do you go about when it comes because you've got a lot of different costumes and stuff that go into this. I mean, and they're very different, from Power Rangers to Dragon Ball to, you know, uh, it, Resident Evil and all these other projects. How do you go about finding this stuff and kind of going off of that, you've got to find places for this stuff too.
yeah, yeah. I think it really comes down to like a vision of what you want this character to look like in the real world.
Hmm.
There are some things that just wouldn't translate,
Right.
uh, like at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of picking and choosing and mixing, matching. There are some times where you do have to go full cosplay mode, like my Saiyan armor.
Yeah.
Was full cosplay companies mixing and matching and prop makers and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
there's times where you need to bring cartoons or 3D images into the real world where like, okay, I won't have the white bright neon outline on my leg. I'll just have a cargo pocket, like
Yeah. Yeah.
mixing and matching on Amazon or eBay or whatever. But no, I don't have an exclusive one. Power Rangers is pretty straightforward because it's just tights and a helmet. And you kind of
Right.
stick to basically two makers, in my opinion. You get a helmet, you get the costume, and then like you get a morpher.
Yeah.
But for costumes like Vihan, I really need to ground him. I need to make his stuff make sense. So I kind of like got the worker man shoes from Japan, right? Then I
Yeah.
got more armored baggy pants instead of the big orange gi that Goku wears. And then
Right.
but
Right.
I still want a Trunks belt. Like that costume looks so different from concept because I was trying to like pay a bunch of homages to Trunks and Vegeta and Gohan and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was like, it looks goofy. So I kind of went my own way. And Vihan's suit, I think, is like, it doesn't remind me of anyone, And that's
Wow.
why I like it. But as for like Chris Redfield was like, okay, tactical, but also Chris's bicep is like 3 times the size of mine. So I should probably get some like motorcycle arms. It's all depending on what you want your character to look like. But
Right.
question. Sometimes it is just like one cosplay route.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's picking and choosing like across the internet. But no, I don't have like a specific company. I've just gotten pretty lucky, or at least my brain goes like, all right, this won't work in live action. So that kind of grounds me on what it's supposed to do. Oh, and Etsy has been a lifesaver too.
Really?
Yeah, Etsy, my belt for Vihan. And then on the secret project, I'm like super deep in Etsy looking at everything. And
Yeah.
then my Saiyan armor. I was super picky about the Saiyan armor, but the first day we filmed Son of Trunks, the guy that ran the set made that type of armor. So I was like, hey, can I get this on that day when we come to set? And then as you see, I used it. Some guy in the like trailer used it, and then Jason Faunt used it. So we got
Okay.
to, we got to, we got to
Got your
work.
money's worth out of it. Yeah.
Sure.
How many different helmets do you have for Sam?
Ooh, two. I got
Two?
the, I got the. Oh wait, three if you include if slash when in Bloodline when I become R1 Omega. I
Uh-huh.
do it. So three technically. I have the super beat up one, and then I have like my original one, and then Bless DJ, he like saved my R1 Omega one because it got super warped in the mail. So for
Ah,
character, yeah, three.
wow. Wow. Well, and I know from like I had Chris on the podcast, he's had to have different ones because he like breaks them and stuff, when he travels. So I didn't know if you've had to how many you've had to have, Have you had any breakage when it comes to that?
They're pretty beat up, but like I always wanted Shattered Past to kind of be the thing outside of the spandex and helmet.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
it's uncomfortable because I think Rangers are really my dog's crazy. I think they're really interesting, especially during the Disney era.
yeah.
Outside suits, from Ninja Storm to Operation Overdrive to Jungle Fury to SPD. Like I love Power Rangers, love Megazords, love all this stuff. But sometimes those civilian fights got me more excited than the actual like Power Ranger fights.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I can agree with that. You know, you can kind of picture yourself doing it a little more, I guess, in
Yeah,
that too. So
power like seeing those actors like go, granted they're still stunt people, but you're watching Brandon J. McLaren like walk through a wall and get ready to fight. Like
yeah.
instead of where as you get older, it's not them.
Right, right, yeah. No, I
So
get that.
I've always wanted to like dive in, and I did do that with First Ninja and Rise of Ninja and stuff. I always wanted to dive into the things that make them interesting outside of being outside of being Power Rangers.
Yeah. It brings more depth to the character being able to do stuff like that. So I appreciate that whenever watching stuff, you know. I like the stuff that kind of gives a rich history to the story.
And
Yeah,
it makes you badass outside of the superpowers, right? Outside of the like you
exactly.
as a Power Ranger, you could whoop ass, but look at him go, some wind powers. He's like,
Yeah. So I just have a little bit more here for you, and then we'll get you off of here and everything. But when it comes to Shattered Past, you know, I know that you're working on that, and that's something that we've been talking about for a minute.
yeah,
Um, do you have a timeline for when you think this will be completed? Because this will be your second project that you've been able to complete on this
yeah.
completely.
So my goal is to release that Anime Las Vegas, which is March 21st and 22nd.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm kind of starting from scratch. I was always like, three-quarters of the episode's done already. We're gonna be fine. Don't worry. I just got to figure this out.
Yeah.
But now, like, no, uh, I can say this, and you might actually enjoy this. I have this whole time travel sequence, and me and Shelton, we've done those crazy glimpses into the future, or Oob getting his memory back, or whatever.
Right.
And I basically go, Shelton, take everything I've done for the past 2 or 3 years. I don't even remember the last time we filmed. I think it's 2 years. I think it's 2023, and make it a big time travel sequence, and
Yeah.
then start fresh and like pick up from that moment. And
Yeah.
so I figure that out. And then I have a really sweet moment filmed with my love interest Lexi.
Yeah.
I want to keep, but yeah, I was so like I was limiting myself because I was like I have to make it make sense with everything I filmed, so I don't have to do it again. But I think it'd
Right.
be exciting to see all this new footage all in one big time travel sequence, and then kind of explain why we all took so long. you know. Uh, but yeah, so that's my goal. But I want to release it at Anime Las Vegas, do a big screening. We also have Ranger Legacy there, so there'll be like a bunch of Power Rangers there. So the
Yeah.
president will be there. And then I think I can just kind of go like, all right, I did it. Like
Yeah.
for everything, Power Rangers changed my life. It's been so real.
Yeah.
But please for this finale.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very excited to see it. You know, this has been something I mean, that's where I saw you for the first time was in a Power Rangers project. I think it was Bloodline was the first time that I saw you on
Mm,
anything, you know. And man, it's been great. All of the different things that you've come up with, you know, all the different things that you've been a part of. It's been amazing. I'm rooting for you and everything that you're doing, you know. It was amazing seeing the finale for Son of Trunks. I am very excited about the finale for Shattered Past and seeing where these other projects are going in the future.
thank you. And I'm rooting for you too.
I appreciate that. So, if people want to follow you and what you're doing, where can they do that?
I'm the most active on Colin K Bass on Instagram. But if you want to go through the backlog of everything that you and I talked about, it's Anime Fire, it's Nerdbot, it's Crimson Vision, it's the new Haunted Signal. I think DJ's going to launch his new Bloodline channel soon. You can
Hmm.
find Bloodline on Nerdbot, and and then the Sonic project will be on Earthcore Media, and they have a trailer out now, but more stuff's coming soon. But yeah, I'm very one, proud, and two, very vocal for anything that I'm a part of that I'm like really stoked on.
Yeah.
So call pass on it. Everything is probably where you get the
Awesome.
the easiest links and clickable things to find what I'm doing.
Awesome. So I actually, you were the first one that did this, and you caught me off guard with this when you asked me to tell you a dad joke on the show. So now, since I actually do that with all of my guests now, and
Ooh,
and so I have two here. One of them, did you ever, which I'm sure you have, did you watch Full Metal Alchemist?
I very very like religiously the first one, the original one, and
Okay.
then Brotherhood. I've watched it through once.
Okay. So I actually heard somebody tell something recently on that. Sorry, this is a side note here, but they're both very good and
They
they're
are.
telling two different stories almost, you know. One is talking about the power, you know, and how to not abuse it, you know, and the other one is pretty much telling a story of you know, the human will in some ways, you know. And so it's an amazing story and it is by far my favorite anime. So
Brotherhood or original?
both of them. I just love them all. You
Yeah.
know, I will say I like Brotherhood a little more, but I can understand why somebody would say the original.
Yeah, one side note for me is I stumbled into the original just a late night Toonami watch or late night Adult
Yeah.
Swim, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Next thing,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa!" And I tried to like, it's 52 episodes in like one movie, I think.
It
So
is.
all over the place, but it kind of was the charm to
Yeah.
it for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is happening?" But I loved it. And
Yeah.
then Brotherhood came out, it seemed way more streamlined, way more organized, and I still really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
But also like me being kind of confused during Full Metal
Yeah.
made it like super fun to me. Where I'm like, huh, the what? What's the equivalent in exchange? And then also I really, really love the Full Metal Alchemist theme song from the original one too.
Yes. Yeah.
Do, do,
That's
do,
a
do, do.
it was a jam, man.
Yours, dude.
Yeah. There's so many of them that have really good really
No,
good openers.
yeah, Naruto. That whole like lineup: Cowboy Bebop, Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist. Like
Hmm.
I would kind of you don't skip the intro
No,
basically.
you don't. You don't. I will say that with first season of Dan to Dan, I don't skip the intro on that. I was
I,
kind of
oh, sorry.
sad with the second season. I was like, oh, it's not there anymore. But I know they change it, you know, every season.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
There's like a English translation kind of cover. I don't know how to really explain it. It's by Game Boy Jones.
Okay.
Please look it up. I will literally send you a link after this.
Okay.
It's so catchy and so fun. I think you might appreciate the Dan theme song a little bit more. And
Okay.
it's also I love the original too, but
Yeah.
like this one, it's kind of fun saying words that I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
I'll send it to you. It's super fun.
Okay. Okay. So we're at this point now to where I'm going to tell you actually two dad jokes. So dad joke of the week. One of them's a little dark. So, but
Uh, well, hold on. If you brought up Full Metal and you said dark, I think I know how it's going.
yeah, you probably do.
Yeah.
If a cat says meow and a pig says oink and the cow says moo, what does the dog say?
What?
Edward.
Do it.
Yep, yep. And the other one, what do you call an anime fan blowing in the wind?
What?
A tumbleweed.
Good job, Dad. Good job.
Thanks. Well, man, this has been fun. I'll talk to you for a few more minutes after we end this recording, but we're going to say bye here for now. Make sure everybody to check out all the cool things that he has going on. Thank you for being on the show. I've really enjoyed this.
Oh, right back at you, man. Thank you so much, and thanks for being a really positive light in kind of a confusing community. So thank you, and keep fighting the good fight. Keep spreading positivity. It means a lot to all of us.
Awesome. Same to you, man.
Give a dad a podcast. Then what else would you?
You were like, I can do this.
Yeah, yeah.
I can do this. But yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm just petting it just to get it to shut up. That was so good. I'm not faking this. I'm literally coughing and wheezing.
Wash my chest, boy.
Yeah.
Judge is gonna be like, "What the heck are you doing?"
If you give a dad a podcast.